It does sound really dodgy, doesn't it, put like that?
I don't know. I think that maybe the Shepherd's Bush Empire gig could be quite good too. I think car park. Yeah. I think what happened was we were talking to a couple of promoters. Somebody emailed me pictures of the venue, and I thought, yeah, I thought that was really ridiculously rough. And if we put our own sound in there and we don't have any lights on at all, it's going to be absolutely correct. I mean, you could just tell looking at the space, it was going to be right. So that was it, really. It was kind of a gut decision.
It's almost the antithesis of what you'd normally do in London. Inner city venues are all much of a muchness, and this is completely different, really.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of grown up. I mean, in Manchester, the first parties I went to were illegal parties. You know, they were in warehouses, and there were no facilities. You paid 25 quid to get in, and then you'd just get free beer all night. And obviously everyone was on drugs, and there were strobes, and that was about the only lighting in there, maybe one smoke machine. And the room was just like bare brick walled warehouse type, small, low ceilings, like old factories and stuff like that. And I don't know, I guess when I saw those pictures I just immediately thought, yeah, that's right, it seemed correct somehow.
Is the drug culture still part of this scene? Do you have any worries about that?
Drugs are available and they proliferate. I mean, both legal and illegal drugs. I mean, I noticed everybody drinking coffee in that cafe down there. I assume that that's what people do before they go on the radio. They have lots of coffee or whatever. So I don't know what I think about that. I mean, maybe I should have had some coffee. I don't know.
Rob, the drug culture. I mean, is it worry to you or not really?
I'm speechless. It doesn't worry me at all, no. But which part of the culture, or which culture is it you're really referring to? Because globally, it's impossible to tar the whole situation with one brush. So
yeah, you can't make a statement about a thing like drugs. It's like saying, how do you feel about cars or people? It's like, well, I feel lots of different things. We could be here for the next 3 days just talking about that.
So it is there, though?
What, drugs are there,
yeah,
kind of thing?
in your gigs and stuff?
I don't know. I've never spoke to anybody. I've never seen anybody. I did actually see a girl once take a pill at a gig that we played at. So I know that it occurs, but I don't know anymore. I couldn't be any more.
No, I've got no direct reference I can draw on.
And you don't judge. That's what you're saying.
Pretty much.
I'm not. Yeah, it doesn't make any difference to me. I mean, I do what I do for aesthetic reasons, and I know that, you know, people like to involve drugs for aesthetic reasons and in their pursuits of what they like to get into and listen to and stuff like that. But I don't think it's I don't think it's
I think the primary concern is everyone's ready and able to listen to the music and dance, and people pursue those sort of
I worry more about people drinking, to tell you the truth,
yeah.
Because I think drink's probably worse for you than most recreational drugs that are commonly available. I'm just being, you know, with permission to speak freely, as it were. Very soon to become a well-held view as well. You know, I'm sure that now that they've got rid of smoking, that drinking's next. I'm sure that drinking's next, you know, and I'm sure that once they've got rid of drinking, they'll probably get rid of a bunch of other stuff, you know, like swearing or spitting, you know.
Now, I want to ask you finally, you're taught at Goldsmiths. You, Stockhausen, John Cage, it's all taught at Goldsmiths. I wondered how you felt about being part of the establishment now.
On the syllabus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that was news to me. It's a good example of what gets made in people's bedrooms in Manchester in the sort of late 80s.
Universities like to kind of... at the moment, they need to seem a bit cooler than they would normally. So they're bound to have these reference points that are slightly less, you know, more edgy or slightly less, you know, outside their regular sort of remit for research. And yeah, we sort of fall easily within that category, i.e. we're sort of accessible enough to be known by these people, but we're also, you know, not classical, basically. So I think a lot of kids that go to study come from a classical background. So for them, I think they probably think that we're quite interesting. But we're just, you know, a couple of street urchins, really. You know, they're just sort of poking and prodding us and saying, look at this, interesting people, yes. But I don't think they really get it. Maybe they get it, I don't know, maybe they get it a bit, I don't know. Outside Manchester, we finished the show the other night. A guy who's really, really talking. He's a cellist, he's classically trained, and his lecturer plays our CDs during lessons. And he wanted to know if we needed a cellist on our tracks. And I was just completely dumbfounded, because I didn't expect, for one, that he'd want to get involved directly. We're the kind of opposite. We've got no rules, no pre-learning, no standards to uphold, just
just taste, really, to orientate us.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about the ideas. You always get asked questions that come from the angle of how do you create ideas for your tracks, right? We basically like got hold of the equipment and switched it on, messed around with it a little bit and thought that's good, and then recorded it. Do you know what I mean? It works that way around. It's like we find what we like within what we've been doing, if you like, rather than sort of sitting there and thinking, oh, I've got this great idea, I need to make it. You know, very often the classical sort of end of it and the academic end of it is obsessed with sort of idea generation and then following that through to fruition. And this kind of this way of working, if you like, means that they're in a lot of ways stuck, and they don't get to generate a lot of these new ideas. You know, it's harder to be fresh if you don't allow yourself the freedom to do it. So, and I think they find that quite exciting and liberating and stuff. So I'm glad if it is being taught, at least I hope that they teach it in the right way. What I imagine is that a university teach it and that they'd be sort of saying, oh, well, these guys are interesting because, and then relating it to other music, which, you know, obviously that isn't the way we work. We're just working purely from a taste point of view. So it's even though I know it's being taught, I don't know whether it'd be being taught in the right way, kind of thing. It's a tricky one, really.
And is that cellist going to appear in one of your next tracks?
We've allowed lots of sources into our tracks over the years. That's what I said to him. I couldn't write it off. I couldn't say no. I just took his email address and said, one day you might, you know. But I don't think you'd be sat there playing your cello like you expect to be playing your cello. It's something else is going to happen completely. So, you know. Because if we wanted a cello sound in our thing, we'll just hire one and give it the treatment we give every other bit of gear in our studio, the same kind of treatment.